Welcome to Holographic Health Insights, the podcast where science meets soul for complete well-being. Join hosts Reverend Anne-Marie Byers and her daughter Rochelle Generis as they explore transformative health approaches that integrate body, mind, and spirit, from energy medicine to holistic practices.
From hidden household chemicals to emotional overload, even vaccines. Toxins show up in more ways than you think, and detoxing isn't just about juice cleanses either. Welcome back, everybody. Skip Monty here, co-host/producer, back in the studio with owners of Holographic Health, Inc., Reverend Anne-Marie Byers and Rochelle Generis. It's good to see you both again. How's your week been?
Good to see you.
Skip. How about yours?
It's been fantastic. Something we've touched on in the past, but not really gotten too in depth, is toxins and the impact that has on your health and what you can do about it in detox. So, take it away.
Well, we live in a culture that is full of toxins. You have, formaldehyde in your new furniture and some of the, house building materials. We have toxins in our food if you eat conventionally grown food, and some drugs and drug therapies and vaccines contain heavy metals. So even some waters contain some heavy metals. So you want to try to pull those out of the body. And, one thing we do is we drink celery juice in the morning first thing to help with, the body to reset. And we have some products that we have with Holographic Health, like our Clean Sweep, which helps with heavy metals, to bind to those and try to pull those out of the body. We have NutriClean 7-Day Cleanse, which has all of the ingredients to do a 7-day cleanse of the liver and gallbladder. So it helps those organs to release the toxins. And, your liver is your filter. And so you want to try to keep it cleansed and, pull things out as much as you can. But also, you want to try to prevent putting any more in your body than you can help. So we've talked about drinking a good either distilled or filtered water to make sure that you don't put heavy metals in with your drinking water. We've talked about in the past eating organic food so that you don't get the toxins from the soils and the conventionally grown food. And we haven't really touched that much on trying to avoid as many drugs as possible and vaccines that can actually put those in your body at a very deep level. Now, if you choose to do a vaccine or a drug, you need to do that as we talked in a previous session. You need informed consent. You need to research this. You need to look at the pros and cons. And we advocate boosting your immune system to try to prevent as much illness as possible. And I choose to do that in lieu of a vaccine. And once again, it's your choice, but learn about this and make your own decision. But I want to boost my immune system so that it can fight off the hundreds and hundreds of mutations of colds, flus, etc. Versus when you get a flu shot, you have a specific flu or set of flus that are the most common that you're going to get immunized against. But there are hundreds more out there that might break out this year. And between you and me, the year I got a flu shot, I was sicker than I was any other time in my life from the flu. Now, I tell people it's up to you if you choose to do this, but read up on it, look at the studies and statistics, look at what is in these vials, look at what is in the drugs, then you decide if you want to do that or you want to go with a natural approach like we do. Once again, it's your choice. Rochelle, do you have some comments?
Oh, I have lots of comments, thank you. Uh, kind of like she said, my while I was pregnant, I was doing a lot of this research because I care a lot about the little baby growing in my belly. Um, so I was lucky enough that the Truth About Vaccines series came out during that time, and it really made me think like, "Oh, I do need to do research on this because I don't know. I've always just gone to the doctor and they've done whatever they recommended, right? But now I'm an adult and I'm gonna be entrusted with this little tiny baby who weighs 7 pounds. Like, this is a big deal." So I took it very seriously, watched the whole series, and then it got time, um, she was born, and we're luckily, my Anne was there with me, my mother in the hospital, and, on my birth plan, it said, "No shots." Like, my husband and I, we are gonna think about this, we're gonna research everyone before we make a decision, and then they present us, "Well, what about the vitamin K?" "It's fine." And I'm like, "It's still like an injection." Like, I'm not okay with that. So, luckily, I'm, in a state of no sleep. So Anne says to the nurse, "Well, can we see the box?" Like, I've heard that there can be, um what was the ingredient in there? Preservatives?
Well, it had preservatives. It was vitamin K2, which is not the um, water soluble form of vitamin K. And, just in thinking about the philosophy of this, we also had discussed, well, God decided to keep the vitamin K at a certain level. Why do we think we need more?
So,
Yep,
we to see the box. The nurse brings the box. It
yep,
is a black label. I'm like, "Honey, how did you not realize that there are preservatives in here and it is toxic?" I'm like, "No, thank
yep.
you." So she promptly put it back in her cabinet. But I was just like, so even this nurse who is offering something cannot even tell us what is in it and does not know that it's not safe. So that was kind of like, okay, like I really am probably gonna be walking into a facility where I know more about this product than they do because they're not educated on them, they being the general medical practice in general, um, medical community. They're not educated, they don't get education, they're just told, "Well, they're safe and effective." Are they? My research kinda says other things, but, I'm open to more data, just show me the data, you know? Um, so that was my warm welcome to the world of injections
Parenthood.
and parenthood. Yeah, we say no in this house a lot, and then it just kinda dawned on me, like, and brought up, I'm fully and trusting that God designed my body pretty darn well. I mean, creationism, evolution, I don't know what you but how far do we need to go back? Like, something had to start somewhere, and, like, just the earth being the perfect place for all these thousands of animals and creatures to grow, like, that just doesn't happen by circumstance or luck. So I'm just gonna trust God on that and not
Yeah,
mess
our immune systems are designed to fight off these things. And it's when we impair those
with
with
the
other things, with things coming in that prevent us from fighting those things off properly, that it's a problem. So we really want to shore up our immune system. We want to try to detox the heavy metals. We want to take our good vitamin C and things to help boost our immune system. You know, and that is so much more safe and effective than some of the drugs and etc. that people are putting into their bodies. Anytime you are contemplating any kind of drug or vaccine, you need to look at the ingredients. If you can't find those, why not? There is so much in a lot of these drug therapies, and you read all of the side effects, and it's everything. It's just it's very concerning.
Mhm.
And so you need to be aware of all of the pros and cons. We're not advocating you not get a vaccine if that is what you choose to do. We are advocating you be educated, that you learn what the pros and cons and the side effects are, because you are injecting something into your bloodstream or into your child's bloodstream that goes straight to the brain and organs and glands. And you have to have a carrier that activates the immune system. And so when you are putting a vaccine in, you have to have some kind of carrier like thimerosal, which is mercury, aluminum, something like that. And that is a heavy metal going directly into the body. It is the kind of thing where if you need something like that, look at the alternatives, look at the pros and cons, look at what it would take to get past that if you have a reaction, and don't just go with what the drug advertisements or the drug companies say. They're there to sell a vaccine and sell a drug.
It's a
They're
product.
not there to give you informed consent. It is a product. So read people like Dr. Vernon Coleman, read Dr. Judy Mikovits, who helped develop some of these things.
This is another good
And
one. Another favorite of mine is Turtles All the Way Down: Vaccine Science and Myth.
and these none of these things, whether it's a vaccine or a drug or anything else, those are not the be all end all cure. You really have to eat a balanced diet, live a balanced life, and whether you choose to do those things or not, you need to do these other things to be healthy, to stay healthy, to regain your health if you've lost it. And if you are working with a doctor that says, well, I'm not going to see you or your child unless you do get these vaccines, and you don't feel good about that, find another one. That is your choice. Fortunately, we live in a state in Tennessee which says it is your choice whether or not you choose to have a vaccine or have your child vaccinated. And once again, that is up to you, but it is your choice. Figure out what the pros and cons are, and then you decide. It's not my decision. It's not your doctor's decision. It is your decision between you and God.
Well, and some other places that these toxins can kind of creep into your house is um, deodorant. So if it is labeled antiperspirant, the purpose of that is to stop perspiration, and it typically has aluminum in it. You're putting that directly on your skin. It's going to get into your body. So I like to go for more natural things that are just a deodorant and not the antiperspirant. They smell nice,
Very important. Yes.
but you do have to apply them more. They do different things. But what skincare is another one that they sneak things in on: lotions, shampoo, anything that touches your skin is going to get into your body. So be aware, read your labels. I started reading labels when I could read. Um, we are vegetarians, and I was always curious, well, what's in this food? So now I get to exercise that skill when I'm reading lotion and body care labels. So read your labels.
And yes, and do not get anything with aluminum or red 40. If you look in this country, they're still selling red 40, which is a carcinogen. It's been a known carcinogen since I was a child in the 60s. So the European Union has banished it. You can get good red coloring from beets and other things. So be very aware of what is in your food and in your topical products. Read your labels. Follow the food babe. She has really good information out there on what's in your food and topical products.
And just a rule of thumb, if you can't pronounce it or it's not a totally natural ingredient that you recognize, look for one that is. there's options.
Exactly.
Very good. So, sounds to me like the most important thing is to be informed, do your research, and make an informed decision based on your own research, in addition to advice you get from others. Well, ladies, once again, I learn so much every time we do an episode, and this is no different, especially the heavy metals thing. And appreciate your opinions very much. They're very well-informed opinions, so I'll say that. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us on Holographic Health Insights. If you're ready to dive deeper into transformative health approaches, visit holographichealth.com or give us a call at 800-566-1522. Remember, your journey to total well-being starts here.